Target CEO is saying shoppers are pulling back. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. If you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get it popping.
Target CEO Brian Cornell sat down for his first television interview since March to talk about some of the challenges facing the retailer. Everything from the backlash around Pride Month merchandise and messaging to the crunch that consumers are still feeling from high inflation. We started with what Cornell learns from shoppers' behavior.
They're managing that budget really carefully. And it's certainly pressuring discretionary spending.
Meaning they're buying less stuff.
They're buying less stuff. Okay. Even within food and beverage. Again, we look at overall retail spending, just look at the top line, you say, all right, a really healthy consumer, and they are spending. But even in food and beverage categories, over the last few quarters, the units, the number of items they're buying has been declining. So they're even tightening up their spending in those categories. But
here's the question that I want you guys to ask yourself as you're observing the CEO of Target communicate these things to you. This is what I want y'all to ask yourself. Are consumers pulling back from spending because they don't necessarily care for Target anymore? Or are they pulling back from spending because they can't afford to buy the things that they used to buy anymore? Or is it a combination of both? Because people, let's be clear, people did not forget that Target was out here selling them sassy swimsuits. And they didn't forget the stance that you took as a CEO before you took it down around the same time that the Bud Light controversy was going on. People did not forget. So is it a combination or is it one or the other? Are people pulling back because they can't afford to buy some of the same things that they were buying? Or are people pulling back from shopping at Target specifically because they did not forget what the stance is that you took when that whole controversy was going on? Ask yourself that question. Let's continue to mine this out.
We've seen 7 consecutive quarters of both dollars and units declining. So you're buying less apparel, less items for your home, fewer toys. You're seeing some of the pressure in those categories. Now, those cycles are going to change, and you've been reporting about categories like toys, seeing pretty significant declines. But the other trend we are seeing, and we've seen really for several years now, is the American consumer is enjoying those seasonal moments, whether it's Halloween or the summer moments, going back to Mother's Day and Father's Day. They're still enjoying those moments, and they keep looking for newness.
So he's basically saying that modern women is by themselves nowadays. I think it's a number of factors that's affecting why people are pulling back as far as shopping. And when you stop giving free money and people have to start paying back their student loans and they have to start paying bills for themselves, or they go through a life event, or they're not making as much money because the dollar don't stretch as much, or everybody is striking at the same time, retailers that's depending solely on people coming into the store in order to buy their merchandise or buy their products are going to suffer. Target at one point was also, or they were actually a darling as far as their stock price and their innovative ideas and then moving into online shopping and picking up, especially during the pandemic. I remember down like 2018, 2019, 2021, 22, Target was largely considered a darling and their stock price was actually shooting up. They were championing and celebrating their CEO for innovating and becoming an alternative to Amazon and Walmart. Now, consumers are price conscious. And so what you see happening along with that is, A, they start to criticize what you stand for as a company because they're more critical of where they're spending their dollars. And then B, they also have to take an assessment of how you've marketed yourself. Well, what does marketing have to do with this conversation of people reserving how much money that they're spending at Target specifically? Well, we know that money that's being spent at Walmart is up, though, because 1 out of every 4 people, 25.2% of people buy groceries from Walmart. That is a fact. Aldi is adding over 100 stores a year. Aldi is adding over 100 stores per year. Walmart, some of their products is not even as cheap is some of the places that you see if you do a price comparison, or maybe just on par or the equivalent. But Walmart has always marketed themselves as the great value brand. They've even named one of their in-store brands Great Value. So you may go in and spend almost or the equivalent at Walmart, but because they marketed themselves differently, people by default automatically assume that they got the lowest prices. And then you throw in this whole woke situation, and that don't do you no favors. But let me continue to hear what he has to say.
What you're describing of sales of goods being down 7 quarters in a row, I mean, that's a goods recession. We see places in our economy where things look great. The GDP came back up 4.9% for the third quarter. But what you're describing sounds like a recession in certain areas of the economy.
Becky, I think it's really fair. I think it's why it's so important not just to look at the top line, but to double click and say what's happening in different categories. What's the pressure of the last 3 or 4 years of rising costs doing to how Americans are budgeting each and every week? And what are they trading off? Right now, again, for 7 quarters, they're buying fewer discretionary items. And they're not buying the goods that they were during the pandemic. Now, that will change over time. And we're certainly planning conservatively in those categories.
But your inventory is under much tighter controls and much tougher management than it had been during the pandemic, when you guys were basically trying to get your hands on anything you could because consumers were buying anything they could buy.
I mean, we had several years where we were just chasing demand. Well, you and I were meeting during those quarters, and we had comps that were up 10, 15, 20%. And it was driven by Americans who were buying all those discretionary items because they were at home.
And they had free money. And they had stimulus checks, and they had PPP loans, and everybody was busting down and getting to the bag, and people were buying things that they did not need just because they could, and they was getting that free money. And so when I was warning people during that time, hey, you need to be a little bit more conservative, you need to be little bit more careful, the retailers were chasing you down with the deals, and then Klarna, Afterpay, PayPal, all of these companies continue to explode because you was even financing things. And you also got to take into consideration the circumstances of people. Well, Anton, what do you mean the circumstances? Student loan payments got paused. Student loan payments got paused. Hello? 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 I'm here. You tell me. Are you there? So you want a donation?
Kids, all supporting residents. The goal of the drive is to support legislators who work to keep our communities safe, as well as support assistance to the families of officers that were killed in the line of duty. So, sir, when you receive the receipt and return envelope, can the organization count on your small one-time support?
Is this a script, or are you like tell me as a human being what am I pledging to?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
I said, are you just reading from a script, or are you trying to get me to pledge? Because you know what I'm saying? I feel like you're reading from a script. Are you there?
Yeah, you're actually talking to a live person, but I'm using a computer for quality control purposes.
I understand that, but you're asking me to donate, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, can you tell me, since I'm talking to a live person, what are you selling me on? What am I supposed to do? What are you asking me for? Like, not from the script, just in a general. I don't have any problem donating, but I'm trying to understand exactly what you're selling me.
Okay, well, we have some different amounts. Some of the top spots for the tribe are the gold spots are at $105, the silver at $85, and the bronze at $65. Which one is comfortable for you?
What am I pledging to? I'm sorry, I missed it. I don't know what I'm pledging to.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
I need y'all to take sales classes. I need y'all to take sales classes. I have no problem pledging. I love being sold. I love going into the dealership and a salesperson is enthusiastic and they understand the product or whatever. But y'all can't keep reading from these scripts and thinking that people are going to embrace you. I will outsell you 10 times out of 10. That's not AI. It wasn't AI. That was the most horrible sales pitch that I've ever heard in my entire life. If it was a scam or it wasn't a scam, either way, it was a horrible sales pitch. Listen, you know why I don't think it was a scam? Because scammers can sell much better than that. Scammers can sell way better than that. Way better than that. They're enthusiastic. They telling you that your car's extended warranty is expired. The whole 9 yards. That was not a sales pitch. That was a horrible sales call. Horrible. And I don't know where y'all getting these people from. I have no idea where y'all getting these people from.
And they were entertaining their families and they were decorating their homes and buying things for the outdoors and leaning into toys.
I need to teach y'all how to sell.
Well, we knew that wasn't going to go on forever. We certainly had some inventory challenges that we addressed last year, and we've taken a much more conservative approach in planning inventory this year. But we're going to lean into those big seasonal moments and play to win when we know the consumer is looking for something that's new, looking for affordability, looking for that special item for the holiday season.
Let's talk about something that you have been on the forefront, theft when it comes to the stores. You can call this shrinkage, you can call it whatever it is, but what it really is organized criminal theft rings that are coming through. This is affecting every retailer. I think.
If y'all want me to do a sales class inside of the Patreon, I have no problem doing so. Just let me know.
$112 billion that it was assumed to
That's
have cost retail overall last year. But you've been, I think, the most vocal critic of what's happening and saying that something needs to be done. We walk around the stores and you'll see that there are now signs that say you can't check out more than 10 items. You see some items that are locked behind glass and you have to wave your hand over to bring someone over to come get things open. You've taken a lot of steps to combat this, but where does the problem stand right now?
Yeah. Well, Becky, we felt the need to use our voice to elevate awareness around this topic.
Cap. He's given the politically correct answer. The problem is that he tired of y'all stealing and they taking steps to invest in theft technology or something else to prevent y'all from being able to take stuff off the stores because y'all driving up the prices and you driving down the profitability. That's the real answer. Listen, he's talking about we're using our voices to bring awareness. No, let me tell you something. A thief don't care about how aware you are at all. That's all cap. That's political speak. The reality is this. They can't have that stores in the wrong places anymore. People stealing. They trying to move online, have more e-commerce. They're going to market themselves more effectively. They're going to have to hire more people in order to come and get things that you may need. They investing in certain technologies to prevent you from being able to leave out what stuff you're not supposed to have. That's what's really happening. They haven't solved for the problem. There's no one approach to it. I would be a very good public representative for these companies because I'm gonna just tell y'all the truth. So, Anton, what is the problem with theft? Listen, I'm gonna just tell you, Becky, we got a problem with people over here stealing. People think that they can just walk in the store and walk out with whatever it is that they want. You just gonna take you some deodorant. You know how much it costs us? That's driving up the prices, Beck. Yo, B, that's driving up the prices. We can't continue to give y'all what y'all want in y'all neighborhoods. Y'all keep talking about y'all got a food desert. Well, how are we going to come in and service you if you don't want to do the thing that's in your own best interest? If you want us to open up the stores and not just be out here in the suburbs, Becky, then y'all going to have to do the thing that's in your own best interest. And we can't do corporate speak anymore. That day is gone. That day is gone. We have to drive up profits and then we'll pass on those savings over to the consumer, Becky. But I can't do it. You got to help me help you. You're going to have to help me help you, Becky, because I don't want to do the corporate speak. I just want to go straight to the people. I want to go straight. Listen, my people understand me. The American people don't need me to use these big terms and stuff, Becky. We got an $112 billion a year problem, and we got to solve for this. I know y'all think that we rich. I know y'all, but when we start closing stores and you got a food desert over there, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York, we just closed a store. You want us to close some more stores or you want us to invest in you? I'm just saying, I know you don't want to get everything online. Some people like going in and touching the product. Some people like putting on that red shirt, acting like they work at Target in order to do their pranks. We not tripping off of that. As long as you don't tear up no merchandise back, come on in. We love you. We appreciate you. Hopefully y'all having a merry holiday. We looking to give back. Let me tell you all of the programs that we helping and we helping out the community with. And this is how we benefit the community. And this is how we going to continue to keep these stores open. But if y'all not going to do the thing that's in your own best interest, y'all just going to have to drive 11 minutes out here in order to go and get your products. That's what I'm going to tell them. People want to know the truth. People want to know the truth. And the minute that you start telling them the truth, they're going to come back to your stores. If I was Target, I would tell them, hey, fam, you know what? We had somebody that was on the staff that was selling some zesty, they were selling some zesty swimsuits. We didn't know that it was going to pop off the door. But like, look, we ain't trying to be on no zesty stuff. Look, we get it. We feel y'all. Problems was happening. We got you. No more zest in the dressing room, and we're going to have a men's and a women's section going forward. Y'all need anything else from us? These companies would blow up. They would benefit. Listen, if y'all need a real spokesperson, you need a consultant to come in and fix your company, I got a price. It's a big one, but you're going to profit from it because I'm going to ensure that you're successful going forward. I'm going to ensure that the people, you're going to be the people's champ. The people are going to love you. You're going to have a core audience that is going to embrace you. They're going to adore you, and they're going to shop at your store because they know that at the end of the day, if you raising prices, it's a reason for it, but it's got to be in their own best interest. They need to understand why the pain is coming. That's it. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I hope y'all enjoyed the show.